welcome everyone to a new episode of Experience Psycho. I'm honored to be talking today to Megan Jensen. So Megan is a strategist, senior solution architect at Proficient. So welcome, Megan.
Thank you for having me.
So Megan, in addition to be a solution architect and digital strategist, you have your own blog and workbooks, and I'm a fan of your blog post at blogsproficient.com. One of the things that really got my attention is that you describe yourself as a data field and behavioral economics nerd. So if you'd like to introduce behavioral economy to our audience, like, what is that and why it's important?
Kind of got into 5 or 6 years ago, and it's kind of the intersection of psychology and a little bit of marketing, and it's basically how the human brain works. And I try to apply some of these theories to the work I do and basically not make people work so hard when they use websites, when they use the tools that we give them, try to use these theories to accommodate human behavior and try to nudge people in the direction that we want to make them move, and not, like I said, not use these theories in a manipulative way. I think of like Dr. Evil in the Mike Myers movies, but like I said, try and put information in places where they expect to find it. It's really applicable with content strategy and UX, things like that. What information is interesting and useful and valuable to them right at the moment that they need it, whether that's on a website, in an email, social media, that sort of thing. Just make it not feel like marketing at all. And I guess that's kind of how I use what I've learned about behavioral economics. And it's all really applicable to marketing and technology and that kind of thing. So if you are in the strategy world, like I said, content strategy, UX, there's new articles to learn. There's a really engaging LinkedIn community if you're interested in kind of getting involved.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love if you can, after the episode, to share with us the link.
Absolutely. Yes, I'd be happy to.
I think experts been talking about experience economy because it's harder now to compete on price or just the speed of production. It's the only thing remaining is to compete on experience, let's say.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if you agree with this.
Yeah, all things being equal, I want an experience to be easy. I want it to be fun. I want our users to go, oh, that was a piece of cake. Because even if the thing that you need to accomplish at the end, I mean, I have a daughter in college, and going through the, FAFSA, the student aid, the financial aid process is the most infuriating thing in the world. And I wish the federal government would just hire some web strategists to help them with that process. Because the information they're after should be easy, but the process makes me want to tear my hair out. And so, it's business that you need to get done. Don't make it so hard. So whether it's ordering a pair of tennis shoes or, doing some sort of business, some sort of transaction, my goodness, let's take out some steps and make it easy and fill in some blanks for the user if you can carry over some data to the next screen, if you can eliminate some steps. Just make it easier if you can, and they will enjoy doing business with you, and they will come back to you whenever they can.
With government organizations, and you don't have choices. If that's a big challenge. If you have a choice, that means a business losing a transaction, losing a customer. It's
right. You only have one place to do that, so you're very much, you're tied to that process. You can't go somewhere else to do it. But if you are a public company, yes, they can go get their Nikes from somewhere else. They can go get their car from somewhere else. They can go somewhere else to do business. So you wanted to make it very, very easy to do business with you.
We just moved, myself and my wife, to a new place. So we need to buy some furniture for it. And we went to their website, and then first thing, they asked us about the dimensions of the room without getting any identification about us. And I looked at it from just the marketing eye and was like, okay. I told my wife, if you start this process, you're going to buy something.
Yeah.
They said, we don't have to. You will be attached. You'll love it.
Mm-hmm.
I see how it's built, that this is an experience.
Yes. But then I've also had other digital experiences where I'll get to step 3 out of 5, and either they ask for too much information or they do something off-putting, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I've invested 3 out of 5 steps. I'm out of here, and I'm going to go to a different company. You don't know me. You don't understand what I need. You've just made this too difficult. And it's not about the price, it's not about the product, it's about the experience. And you've just put me off enough that I'm willing to abandon the time and effort I've put into it, and I'm ready to start from scratch with another
So
company.
nice.
Fine, I'm going to go to Amazon because you just lost me as a company or as a customer. And that's why you need to do really good user research, usability studies, that sort of thing. Understand the process, understand your user at every single micro CTA, every single interaction and step that they go through. Make sure you understand what's just enough information, what's just enough steps, and don't go too far because you can lose them very easily.
I think with the wealth of technology and the ways to collect data, it's like
Right,
what they like, what they need from you, there are ways to do it, I think, and
right,
there is no excuses, I think.
right. Yep, exactly. It's the process of, oh my gosh, are you really going to make me like type in my whole address? Are you really going to make me go get my credit card and type that in? You're not, like you don't auto populate that through Google. Like, forget it. You just lost my business. So anyway,
Yeah.
all that to say, my job is to make it very easy for your customers to do business with you.
Okay. So I'm trying to learn from you on this then. What about, and maybe I'll come to this point a lot, measurability, ROI, how to convince
Yes.
managers. Because I mean, this seems to be a long-term investment. If someone didn't implement it before, like how would you plan on measurability, measure
Yeah.
the outputs and ROI?
Yeah. Investing in strategy, investing in research, investing in good UX is sometimes a hard sell because it's hard to put it in a box and say this is the thing you're paying for. And it sometimes takes time to show the payoff. You know what I mean? So it's very important before you implement things to get a baseline measurement on, form completion rate and your bounce rate on pages, that sort of thing. Get the before and after. Don't just start measuring once you implement things because you gotta prove what it was like before you started implementing these. It sometimes takes a long time for behavior to change. That's really important. And one thing that I see a lot with clients is they measure and measure and measure, and they have all these numbers, and they don't really know what to do with it. So that's where these behavioral economic principles come into play. So how do you change tactics to change behavior? And that's where you can do some of this reading and say, okay, well, people aren't doing what I want them to do on this page. What do I change in order to get them to fill out the form and in order to get them to click the button? What do I do? So, I think that's where it's important to kind of approach marketing like a science fair project, which I've always done. And honestly, follow the scientific theory. So form your hypothesis, do your experiments and, test your theory and that sort of thing. And see if you can move human behavior to get them to do the thing you need them to do, whatever that action is on the page or the section of the website or, the email campaign, whatever it is. You're trying to change the environment to get people to move in the direction you want them to move. And measuring on the long term is really crucial. And then having an idea of what you're going to do, what you're going to change. If your theory was wrong, we changed the color on the button. Now what do we do? It didn't increase the click-through rate. Now what do? We're going to change it from green to red and see what happens next. We're going to increase the font size. We're going to change the position of the button. One of the things that I'm really excited about, we're starting to implement some projects with CDP and Personalize. I'm really excited that running A/B tests and existence testing with Personalize is easier. So we're really encouraging our clients to make testing part of your everyday work. You know what I mean? So I want my clients to get to a point where they know down to the size of the button, the shade of green, the font size, I want them to know exactly what's going to catch their users' attention and encourage engagement so they spend less time on things that don't work and more time on things that they know do work.
think this is many ideas jump to my head. Why? That's a
My
I
seventh
should
grade science teacher is going to be so happy when he hears
I should yeah right. I should take notes. That's a one thing I'm thinking of is this one of the ideas that we're trying to promote inside Psychcore, and it's
Of course. That's why we're here. Yes.
it's yeah, but one of the ideas genuinely I'm even focusing on it through my studies is the continuous market segmentation and continuous optimization, drawing on the developer experience. I saw developers achieved a lot of success in the continuous environment and continuous deployment, these kind of ideas. And I believe in the marketing side, we need to adopt similar techniques of continuous updates of our messaging to the market and understanding the market and reformulating our message and reiterate upon this. If that makes sense.
Agreed. Yeah.
Also another thing that the idea of partners and third parties capability to absorb some of this effort and investment time, because there is a change here and the change needs investment, and some of the clients will not be able to make the whole thing by themselves. So you absorb it, you measure for them, and you get them some results so they can start in the process, if that makes sense.
Right. Yep. And every client is different. Sometimes they want us to do the work. They are happy to just hand it over. Please do it for us. Tell us how it's going. Give us the reports. Tell us what to do next. That's kind of one bucket of clients. We have other clients who want us to teach them, and it's very much a teaching, coaching scenario where we're sitting side by side with their strategists, their developers. And so we're doing the workshops to figure out like what it means to set up your taxonomy, your facets, your goals and engagement value. But then we are in the Psychcore tools with them, showing them how to actually do it. So it really depends on the client's, bandwidth, their appetite for doing the work versus, having us in there doing the work for them, hand it over when it's done. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Maybe I'd move to another point, and
Sure.
I think you'd be, because I see you talking about it all the time. Even this was the focus of your symposium talk a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. Is the multicultural, the multilingual, and you connecting it to your really human objective to culture inclusions and diversity. So you're connecting the cultures to the multilinguals, to the websites, to the omni-channel presence in a nice way. And I'd love to ask you multiples of questions and learn from you on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we need words in the right language. That's a place to start.
Yeah.
How do you do SEO in different countries? Like I just kind of kept adding to my notebook of things that we realized, privacy laws are different in different countries. About a year ago, we started working with a client on another global multilingual website, and we were going to build this website on Content Hub and Personalize on a multilingual website. So a new product that's going to be multilingual is a bit of a challenge. But more and more of our clients have, if not a global presence, they do need to be thinking about a multilingual customer base. It's very, very likely they have customers in the United States that don't speak English as their first language.
Yeah.
And building a multilingual website is so much more than just translating the words on the page. Just have an American presence. Let's say you don't sell overseas, but you don't need global SEO, for instance. But you really do need to put a little effort into either translating some of your content or, making sure that it's translatable by, like Google effectively. So I tell clients of any size in any industry, pay attention to your non-English speaking users. Don't forget them. And I also extend that to don't forget your users of other groups. Your disabled users. I'm a big flag waver for accessibility. I work really closely with Lisa McMichael here at Proficient to make accessibility not an afterthought. We need to design for accessibility at the beginning. So I try very hard not to make accessibility standards not just a bunch of check marks at the end of a project to make sure that our color contrast is okay, things like that. Think about it from the beginning so that you don't have a bunch of really expensive rework at the end. And so really think about what your non-English speaking users need and want and expect, and also what cultural groups who may use your products need and expect. Make sure that you understand what they want, what they know, what they believe, even if they are in the United States. Now, talking about a global website is kind of a bigger thing. And so some of the things that we talked about at Symposium are SEO is one of the biggest things. It's an investment. I happen to believe it's very much worth the time and money and effort to do it right. The company presented with us have a global SEO team, and they do keyword research for every country that they have a presence in. And the example that we use is the difference between cookies and biscuits. So if you're searching for an image, for instance, you're going to search for a picture of cookies here. You're going to search for a picture of biscuits in the UK. So the difference between soccer and football, that sort of thing. Make sure that your keyword research is accurate in each country, in each language. Make sure that you are submitting your XML sitemap to all the global search engines. It's not just Yahoo and Google and Bing. There's 6 or 7 additional ones that you should submit your XML sitemap to. So all that is important as well.
Yeah, that's and I'll try to pick some of these details and talk about each of them with you. I think, for example, one of the articles for you talking about hiring multiple teams in different locations and from different regions, and I wanted to question the visibility and the feasibility of doing so. And
Yeah.
do I need really to, like, if I have a website running in 5 countries, I need 5 teams?
And it depends a lot on the size of your company. If you're a very small company and you have a French version and that sort of thing, maybe you don't necessarily have a French marketing team. If it's at all feasible, it would be great if you could contract with a marketing person in France to be your liaison in that country at the very least, to help do some editing of your translated content before it goes live. I think that's really important to have a human being lay eyes on some of that content before it goes live. If you're using machine translation, it's very good these days. But if you have any content with like financial transactions, legal or privacy content, or like emotionally sensitive content, you really want a local speaker to lay eyes on it, because they can pick up nuance that, even an American who can speak the language may not pick up on. So really, it is worth the effort, even if you have to hire a contractor that's local to that country to help you edit that one more time before it goes live. It's really worth it. Even better, if you have a local marketing team that works for you, get them on board, have them help you. It really is worth it.
Do the tools help you in this kind of process, like the MarTech and customer data platforms?
Yeah, so like with Content Hub, there's MRM, it's the marketing resource management component. Makes it really easy to like work together on documents. I think with Content Hub 1, which is coming out, I'm really excited to learn more about that. But it makes it really easy. So if you have folks working in the United States and Australia, it kind of compensates for time changes and that sort of thing. So you're not literally awake at the same time, but you can work together and have like approval processes and things built into your workflow, so that no matter where your team lives, you can work pretty efficiently on the same projects together, and really helps compensate for that.
So, I don't want listeners to feel like I'm cornering you to talk about the products.
Oh no, but I mean but it's the tools we use to get our work done every day, so it's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, and also you talked in the Symposium about the combination of really interesting, combination of composable product, and I want to listen to get your opinion on
Yeah.
composability generally
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And the client that we worked with on the symposium talk, they have their own CDP. So they didn't have to buy CDP, but they are using Personalize. So they were able to save some money there. They didn't use XP, they used XM. And because they have a presence in China, it enabled them to have, I'm not going to explain this particularly well, but like a lighter footprint has something to do with having some infrastructure in China. They used Vercel, which speeds up the development process really nicely. And then they are using Content Hub, which is just a godsend for their content team. I can't remember what they were on previously, but just it's speeding up their like their design process and their content process so much, and they're just able to get so much more work done. Just like the renditions and things, previously their design team, every time they uploaded like an image to their previous DAM, they had to do 5 different versions, like one for Twitter, one for Facebook, one for the website. Now they do it one time and it automatically does, whatever rendition you need. So right there, it's saving them all kinds of time. And just the speed at which things upload and media processing and things, it's so much more efficient for so it's a really good success story for composable architecture.
Efficiency on scale. That's
exactly.
Sounds interesting. And there's a bit of corporate responsibility. You optimize the wasted effort of your marketing team. You give them more time to think about things that matter to their customers,
right?
By allowing them, so it's more time, but by not just publishing the same thing 6 times.
We all want to spend time and our intellectual energy doing the fun, creative, problem-solving things that matter. We don't want to spend it doing 5 different versions of the same image and then spending an hour waiting for it to upload. It's frustrating. It's mind-numbing. That's the stuff that makes people hate their jobs.
Yeah, so talking about measurability, that's definitely a direct connection to the ROI. Also mentioning measurability, the A/B testing, coming back to it again.
Yes.
So you mentioned in the symposium talk that there was a challenge was the efficiency of testing content page versions. Like how did you achieve that? How did you overcome this challenge?
So the company that we're working with so they're really excited now that they're going to be on Personalize. They're going to be implementing A/B testing on a more regular basis and make it just a regular part of their content strategy and their marketing process in general. So we're going to be doing a more long-term CDP personalized engagement with them. And a big part of that is going to be training on A/B testing and making that a part of their process. So they're really excited to be able to do that again in a very efficient way. It was just something that wasn't available to them before on their previous platform.
One of the things that I've been working from product marketing point of view, just released that a couple of months ago, is multi-armband based personalization. Have you come across?
I haven't actually done it. I know theoretically what it is, but yeah, I'm a big.
This is the whole idea behind it, is to save marketers time, because it utilizes artificial intelligence to decide statistical significance based on the population size, and then it allows traffic to the experience that is winning. So basically, it saves you time and gives your customers better experience. To reach A/B test results. So making it more feasible.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, and it's all about giving us the data to make better decisions, so we can do more of what works and less of what we know doesn't.
What's it? So, anything else you want to highlight through that success story?
Yeah, and with we actually just launched their website about a week ago. It's going very well. So now that the English version is launched, we're now going to be launching their global multilingual sites. So we just needed to get the English version up and going. So we've got some really efficient workflows and processes set up for content replication, and then replicating and translating these additional websites for the global sites. We're able to extend some of the permissions and taxonomy to kind of reinforce the governance around image usage, for instance. So this isn't the industry that this particular client is in, but let's say you had a sports equipment company and you sold tennis equipment or swimming equipment. In the United States, you could have a photo of a female athlete wearing a swimsuit and it would be just fine. You cannot use that image on a Middle Eastern website, for instance. You don't want to make that mistake. You can build in that governance and reinforce it with your taxonomy and permissions and that sort of thing, so nobody accidentally puts the wrong image on the wrong website. And we've also been able to use some user groups so that the external teams, they have some external design teams, that sort of thing, only have access to what they need. Internal blog teams who really only need access to a very, very small portion of Content Hub. And it's also made it easy for us to make really efficient training too. I mean, people only learn what they need to learn, so they don't have to sit in 4 days worth of training like the super users. We're able to make really efficient training videos and documentation for those, kind of micro users, let's call them, who only need to get in and out and do a few things. It's made it really very nice and efficient.
That's impressive. Do you have any plans to measure like conversion rates, efficiency, analytics?
Yeah, actually,
Going
our
forward?
client business side, they are measuring everything. They are measuring time to value. So from the business side, they are validating the investment in all of these tools from an SEO standpoint, from a revenue standpoint. So it's going to be really interesting to see how close to the metrics we get. And they're going to be sharing that with our team as well to see if it's doing the thing we thought it was going to do when we started building this website about a year ago. So it's going to be exciting to see
please,
how those numbers pan out. Yeah.
Yeah, please. Like, I'd love to see that blog
Yeah,
post or
yeah.
article coming out. Yeah,
Yep.
of these numbers. Yeah, something out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It'll be a
one
great use case. Yeah.
of the great things of these big customers use cases that they are showing the others, smaller companies, smaller
Yeah.
startups, like how to do it,
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
get the engagement, customer experience pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So lovely. Before we wrap up, usually I dedicate like the last few minutes to talk about like a general or some cases of interest around us and happening in the world today. But because I have you today, I choose for you, which is hopefully that would be fine with you.
Sure.
So I chose race and ethnicity,
Mm-hmm.
and we live in a world that is really need. We really need to understand each other. I believe that digital experience leaders, people like you, utilizing the right technology in the right ways, can create a space for everyone to be represented. It seemed to be impossible for a long time to have a website, for example, that represent and speaking to everyone. But it seems like with the talk of today, it's possible. So do you agree with me? What do you think about this kind of idea?
Yeah. I think the digital universe that we're in is very much the great equalizer. And at least to me, the goal is allowing each individual in each of these groups to be absolutely themselves and making a space for those groups to experience the digital world exactly how they want to, if that makes sense. So it's our responsibility to make those connections possible and equitable and accessible and friendly.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like my responsibility is.
And showing and there is a way that organizations make a profit through that process. They don't have to be NGOs in the process. They still can grow their businesses while they are respecting the needs of their prospects and customers. So
right. And I believe in digital for good. We can make a nice digital world for people.
Digital for good. I love that to close with. So thank you so much, Megan. And I at the end of this episode, I'd really love to thank you for accepting this invite and being with us today, spending the time. And for everyone, there is so much more to consider and learn from Megan. So please visit her blog site. I'll again put that in the description. If you would like to learn about culture, inclusion, content strategies, localization, analytics in it. So there's a lot and wealth of knowledge there. And of course, don't forget to put or send us your feedback, leave a comment, or send me an email. I'd love to know what we are doing right, how we can get this process better. With you, we can grow it for the best. Please stay tuned for our coming episodes and talk to you soon.